Introducing the Property Model Calculator, the newest addition to Thermo-Calc. The Property Model Calculator allows users to predict and optimize properties of materials using models. If you have Thermo-Calc 2015B or newer, simply click on the Property Model Calculator icon from the home screen of Thermo-Calc, and all the nodes you need will appear in the project pane. To set up a calculation, define your system in the System Definer, then configure your calculation in the Calculator node. You will receive the results in the form of a plot or as information in the Events log. I'll load a basic material in the System Definer for the purposes of this video. When you click on the Property Model Calculator node, you access the entirely new calculator. Here you can see the first 5 models: phase transition, driving force, interfacial energy, coarsening, and equilibrium. These 5 models are included in the software when you upgrade to Thermo-Calc 2015B. Additional models will become available for purchase in the future, and users will also be able to create your own models. To use the new Property Model Calculator, simply select one of the models, and a tab with the same name will open in the center of the window. Each model tab then contains 2 tabs: a configuration tab, where you configure your calculation, and a description tab, which contains useful information about the model, such as instructions on how to set it up, and a description of what the model calculates. For a more extensive description of each of the models, visit the new online help system by going to Help, Online Help, and searching for Property Model Calculator. The Property Model Calculator allows you to evaluate multiple models simultaneously over a range of compositions and cross-plot the results. To do this, simply select additional models. When you do, the new model will receive its own tab with its own configurations and description. You must configure each model independently here in this center section. Once you configure each model, set the conditions, which will be applied to all the models you selected. Notice that the compositions we set in the System Definer auto-populated here. This is because changes of the compositions we make in the System Definer propagate down to all the calculators below it. Finally, select your calculation type, which will use all the models you selected and configured. The Property Model Calculator offers 4 calculation types. The single calculation type allows you to verify that the configuration you set up is valid. We recommend that you always run a single calculation first before you run one of the other 3 calculation types to make sure that your calculation is set up correctly. The results of a single calculation appear in the event log in the form of a number, for instance, a temperature. If the configuration failed, you will see NaN, which means not a number and indicates that the calculation was not set up correctly. Once you run a single calculation and receive a number, you can move on to one of the 3 advanced calculation types. The grid calculation type allows you to evaluate 2 axis variables of the selected quantities in the specified range and number of steps. For your axes, you can choose temperature or one of the elements. You then select your minimum and maximum values and the number of steps. Best practice for grid is to start with a small number of steps to confirm that it works before you increase the number. The min-max calculation evaluates the property model or models for all variations of the selected quantities at the given limits. The amounts for the mean field are as set in the condition definitions. The total minimum and maximum of the model's results are shown in the event log. Finally, the uncertainty calculation evaluates the property model or models where the values of the quantities are sampled from Gaussian distributions. The amounts for mean field are as set in the condition definitions. The result is visualized as a histogram or normal probability. Best practice for uncertainty is to start with a small number of samples to confirm that it works before increasing the number. To see the Property Model Calculator in action, click the links currently on your screen to watch the examples videos that walk you step by step through setting up a calculation. You can also download the examples from our website, which will automatically run the calculations.